What's up guys, slightly different video compared to normal. This is the brand new apartment that I have just bought here in Medellín, Colombia. I'm going to give you a full tour. It is a 117 square meter apartment, which I believe is around 1300 square foot. And I'm going to give you a full tour of the apartment, why I bought it, where it is in Medellín, and some of the nuances around the property purchase as well, because it was a very educative experience. I know some of you guys will like to see all the ins and outs of buying a property here in Colombia. So let's take a look. So the first thing let's take a look at and check out is the view, because I'm not sure about you guys, but when I was looking at properties to buy here in Medellín, I definitely wanted something with a view, with a nice terrace, so I can sit out here in the mornings, drink my cafecito, listen to the birds and the nature. As you guys will know, that is one of the plus sides of living in Medellín. And this terrace and this view is pretty good, honestly. It is not the absolute best view I've ever seen here in Colombia, but it is good enough. I have a nice mixture of trees, of buildings. I can see various parts of El Poblado, which is the sector this apartment is in. It was important for me to have some outdoor space because the apartment I have in London does not have any outside space, unfortunately, and I really missed that when I lived there. So I have a nice sized terrace here. I can put a table and chairs on, maybe a little outdoor sofa, so I can sit, relax, watch the world go by, and enjoy some of the best things Medellín has to offer, which are the views and the nature. So guys, this is the terrace. It's a good size. Obviously I have the white plastic chair that everyone has in Latin America. Only one chair for now. I haven't bothered getting another one. And yeah, this terrace is a really good size, and you get a nice view of El Poblado from this apartment. Okay. So now let's check out the rest of the apartment. We are in the non-touristy section of El Poblado. The neighborhood is called La Frontera. It's on the border of El Poblado and Envigado. It's not really near Parque Lleras, it's not near Provenza, it's not near Barrio Manila, so it's not a super touristy area, and I didn't really want that. I didn't want to live somewhere very touristy. I wanted to live somewhere slightly more traditional, where kind of normal Colombians would live. And I was honestly spot on with that, because there are 16 apartments in this building. I am the only foreigner. The rest of the 15 apartments are Colombian owned, and I really love that. Okay, and let's check out the living room. So before we get into that, I'll give you guys some context. I haven't really purchased any furniture for this apartment because I plan to remodel it relatively soon, and I didn't see there'd be any point in buying a load of nice furniture only then to just get the builders in. It gets all dusty, things get broken, stuff gets in the way. So I haven't really bought any furniture yet, which is why it looks very sparse. It's probably quite echoey. I'm living like a proper bachelor with a mattress on the floor without a bed, all that kind of good stuff. I don't even have a sofa or nice chairs to sit on, just the basics. And for me, that's absolutely fine. It's only me and B living here at the moment, and the renovations aren't going to take long, so soon it'll be all furnished. I have nice sofas, nice chairs, all that good stuff. So we have this really big living space here. Got a couple of nice windows here with a similar view to the terrace. We've got more living room space here. This is probably where the dining table will be. We've got B's bed here. B's gonna say hello. Where's your B? Little B there. We have a nice guest toilet here just in front of the front door, where guests can use the bathroom. They don't need to walk into the bedrooms to see that all. Good size space. And what I like about this apartment, it has really lovely marble floor. And I'm gonna keep the floor because I think it's nice. It gives it a nice touch. I'll probably polish the floor a little bit, but I'm really a big fan of the marble floor. So this building is around 25 years old. It was constructed in the year 2002, and that's what I wanted. I looked at quite a few apartments before I found this one, new ones, old ones, and I came to the conclusion that I wanted to buy an older apartment that I could remodel rather than buying an already brand new apartment, simply because the new apartments here in Colombia are really small. Colombians live small. You get 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom apartments, which are 70 square meters, 80 square meters. If in the future you have a family, you have 2 dogs, you have 2 kids running around, that space for me just isn't really sufficient for living. So I wanted to find somewhere which is basically tired, old, needed remodeling, but has a big square footage, so that I can remodel it, I can put my own stamp on the property, and also somewhere where I just have more control of the cost, because when you buy a brand new apartment, you don't really have any control over the finishings of that. So let's check out the kitchen. This is like the dining area. This is where the dining tables be. The kitchen is going to be through here. One thing I don't like about this kitchen is A, it's really old, then secondly, it's separate. It's completely separate from the rest of the apartment, but I'm planning to knock all of this through to create a nice big open plan kitchen. But as you can see here, this kitchen is super old. These haven't been changed in 25 years. All of this is really old as well. It's functional, as you can see guys from my Instagram. I've been cooking, I've been doing all my meals, so the kitchen works absolutely fine. But just in terms of how nice it is, if I'm gonna get the builders in and knock a few walls down, I'm definitely gonna redo this kitchen, basically create a whole new kitchen because it's old. I wanna put my stamp on the property. I wanna basically make this apartment mine, modernize it for 21st century living basically. And yeah, so all of the kitchen you see behind me is gonna go. This wall as well is gonna be knocked through to make it a nice big kind of open plan kitchen living area. And this is the back of the kitchen. We got B's secondary bed here. We have the view of the back of the flat. Ideally, I didn't really like be able to see the whole structure of the building here, but it's honestly not a bad outlook for Colombia. It could be better, yes, it's not the world's best kind of kitchen view, but as you guys know with properties, you kind of have to sacrifice some things. You can't have every single box ticked, and for this flat, it ticked enough of the other boxes that I wanted for me to kind of be okay with the fact that I can see the structure of the building from the kitchen. What was my criteria for this apartment? What was I really looking for? The first thing, I wanted somewhere quiet. As you guys know from my other videos, Medellin is a very exciting, happening city, but it's noisy as well. You have motorbikes, you have cars, the old buses tearing along the streets, and it's difficult to find a nice apartment in a quiet part of the city while you're still close to the action. So when I found this place, it's not on a main road. The outlook of the building is relatively quiet. You don't have a lot of traffic going on. And so for me, for living long term, this was the first thing that I wanted. The second thing was a nice balcony, a nice view so I could look out over the city. So I have something nice to look at in the daytime and the nighttime as well. I wanted something that was going to be big enough for me in the future, because at the moment it's just me and my dog, but in the future I might have a girlfriend, a wife, kids, other pets maybe, and so I wanted somewhere bigger, future-proof for the next 10 to 15 years. Okay, back to the tour. So guys, in Colombia, no matter how big the apartment is, there's always a washing clothes area. So I bought this Samsung washing machine. As you guys will know from my Instagram stories, we had a bit of a problem with the installation of that. The guys didn't remove the packing bolts when I installed this washing machine. So the first time I used it, it was literally running around here, all 90 kilos of the washing machine, and I thought it was going to fall through the floor, but at the moment it's okay. Apologies, I'm doing some laundry here. You normally don't need a tumble dryer in Medellin because the weather is so good. We have this super old boiler, which at the moment isn't actually working, so I've just been having cold showers for the time being. And I know everyone on Instagram always goes on about how great cold showers are, but I've been taking cold showers for the last 2 months since I moved in here, and I honestly absolutely hate them. I dread having a shower in the morning and the evening because I have no hot water. So I'm looking forward to getting the builders in, getting the refurb underway so I can actually start having hot showers again. So we're going to check out the first technical bedroom here. So this is a 3.5 bedroom, 3.5 bathroom property. And this room here is for the maid or the cleaner. Now, normally in Colombia, these older buildings do have one of these rooms like this, but I don't really call it a typical bedroom because as you can see here, it does not have a window. Now, in the UK, I don't think they're able to call a room a bedroom if it doesn't have a window, but they technically call this a room, but I wouldn't really call it a bedroom because I wouldn't sleep in here. And next door to this bedroom, we have a first ensuite bathroom. This ensuite bathroom really isn't that nice, to be honest, so I'm either gonna completely get rid of it or I will renovate it, make it nice again. This is the first kind of proper bathroom we have in the property. So yeah, the 2 walls in this room are going to get knocked through to make way for the brand new kitchen I'm going to install, probably with an island as well, because I like cooking my meals at home. So I just want a big open plan space so I can do that. Okay, so we're coming through the kitchen here. Let's check out the bedrooms. So we're going to go through the living room. Little B over there is wondering what I'm doing. Okay, let's head to the bedrooms. One of the things I liked about this flat is that the bedrooms are all at the back, meaning that you don't really get any street noise if there was any anyway, which there isn't too much because the street is nice and quiet. It's not a main road. Okay, so this is the family bathroom. It's a good size. It has a nice walk-in shower here. But as you can see, it's old and dated. I think this stone is nice. This is a good quality natural stone. These are 25 years old, so these are gonna go. Same with these tiles as well. These kind of tiles look like the kind of tiles my grandma would have in her house. So all these tiles are going to get changed. This big mirror as well is going to get taken out with a smaller mirror put in and some shelves to put some storage space. So these bathrooms aren't too bad. They work perfectly well, but they're just not really my style. They are 25 years old and they're really dated. And I know they've been used by previous tenants, previous people. So I just want to get rid of it all and make my own stamp on the property. Now, this area here, this was advertised as a library. Tell me what you guys guys think? Is it a library or not? I mean, you could put some books here, but it's not really the space for a library. But if any of you guys are watching this have good interior design knowledge, what should I do with this space? Should I just keep it kind of as a library and just put some books here? Or should I get rid of all of this? I don't know, make it a slightly different area, maybe put like a mini bar here or something. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments. And you never know, I might take you up on that. But let's check out the first bedroom that I'm not using. Okay, so my plan with this room is I'm gonna make this room a kind of study / guest bedroom. So there's gonna be a sofa bed here, there might be a desk here, and I'm going to use it just for, you know, recording content, for doing some work. This floor is kind of okay, but I'll probably change this because if I'm going to change most of the other things in the flat, that I want to change this kind of laminate type flooring. So yeah, you get a slightly different view from this bedroom out the side of the building. So you can see El Poblado there. My neighbors over here. And it's nice and peaceful. You can't really hear too much, to be honest. But another thing I really liked about this apartment is all the bedrooms are a decent size. Apart from that kind of half bedroom that I just showed you earlier, the 3 main bedrooms are all really good size. You can fit a queen bed in there. You can fit lots of storage. You can have decent sized bedside tables. And that was important for me. I just didn't want tiny bedrooms, which could only fit a single bed in. Okay, let's talk money. How much did I buy this property for? I purchased it for 690 million pesos, which in dollars is 185,000 US dollars, and in pounds that is 135,000 pounds. Now for London property prices, this sounds really cheap. It's like the same cost of a garage space in Royal Borough, Kensington and Chelsea. But remember, as a foreigner here in Colombia, you cannot buy a property using a mortgage. You have to pay in cash because you have no way to get any sort of credit history here in Colombia. So I had to purchase this property with cash, and that makes it a lot more difficult compared to using a mortgage. And in terms of how expensive it is in Colombia, because we are in an estrato 6 area, they have an estrato system here in Colombia, which is basically like a class system. It's 1 to 6. Estrato 1 being like the most poor areas, and estrato 6 being like the most exclusive areas. The first 3 levels, I believe, have you reduced utility bills. 4 has normal utility bills, and 5 and 6 has increased utility bills to help pay for 1 to 3. So this is in estrato 6 or strato 6. And so the price for this property is around about mid-tier. It's not super luxury, super expensive, like you easily can find properties here, but it's also not dirt cheap here. It's around a middle ground level, which I was comfortable with. And as with all property purchases, there are some additional costs that you incur in the purchase phase. I think I spent around 20 million pesos, which is around 4,000 pounds in additional fees. And because one of the main reasons I bought this property was for the real estate visa in Colombia, I had to legalize my money from the UK over here, which comes with a fee as well. So it's not a straight up calculated conversion from pounds to pesos, and that's the price you pay. You have to pay a little bit more just because you have to basically jump through a few more hoops in order to buy the property. Without going into too much detail for you guys, that's kind of how it works. But yeah, all the bedrooms have really great storage. They are old though. I mean, these cupboards, I think these doors are okay, but the inside of these cupboards are really old. So in every single room, all of this stuff is going to get ripped out, replaced with new modern stuff, which is going to match my style, and it's going to be great. So let's head into this other bedroom. It does seem a little bit crazy that I'm only really living in around 30% of the square footage of this flat. But hey, I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking 10, 15 years ahead, and it's an investment. And yeah, this is the slightly bigger guest bedroom, which is gonna have a full bed. So this room is big enough to have a queen size bed around here. It has the same kind of built-in storage here, similar to the other bedroom we were just in, but I'm gonna have this as a full-time guest room. Full bed, bedside tables, no sofa bed, and with a nice quiet outlook here. But as you guys can see here, right now it's completely empty because I don't have any furniture for it. So let's check out the last room in the apartment, which is my bedroom. So it's a kind of a similar size to the room we were just in, but I have my mattress on the floor. Apologies, I'm doing laundry. I do have bed sheets, but they're just getting drying yet. So I have a nice queen size mattress. This is queen size, so there's sufficient space either side of here to put some nice bedside tables in and everything. We have this nice outlook. You can hear the birds sing in the morning. It's really nice because the area I stayed in for 6 months in Envigado was really nice. It was vibey, it was super Colombian. I loved it, but there were sometimes 24-hour parties on the weekend. They loved doing fireworks at night, dogs barking, motorbikes going past all the time. It was just a complete headache for getting a good night's sleep. So here so far, touch wood, I've been sleeping really well. It's nice and quiet. And like I said before, this is one of the main things that I was looking for with the apartment I was going to buy. And because we're in an estrato 6 area, the bills are relatively high. So I've got the bills here on my phone. So the monthly HOA, because there's a porteria, because there's a lift in the building, is around 670,000 pesos, which is 180 US dollars per month. And there is a yearly annual property tax bill, which I think is around 4 million or 4.5 million pesos, which is around £1,000 a year for tax, which you need to pay up front in January. And I'm not sure what my utilities will be at the moment because I haven't got the deed for this property yet, because things take time in Colombia. The notaria needs more time for this. So you just imagine when you buy the property, you don't actually receive the deed for a few months afterwards. So as you guys can see, this room has no kind of built-in storage because it has a separate walk-in closet, which I'll just show you now. This is my walk-in closet. I've got a few of my bits and bobs of clothes here. Got a nice little window for ventilation, which I like. So this is the only difference between this and the other room. This has a walk-in closet, and this is my bathroom. Almost exactly the same as the other one, except for this one has a really nice window. I'm not sure about you guys, but having a window in the bathroom is really nice. I like it a lot. And it's a shame that this apartment doesn't have a window in each bathroom, but you know what? You can't win them all. You have to compromise from somewhere. And this apartment has a window in the master bathroom, which is the one I'm going to use. So I'm totally fine if the other bathrooms don't have one. This bathroom, really similar to the other one. I am considering about having a bath installed in this flat, because ideally I would have this as a bath. So if it ever gets cold in Medellin, which it doesn't really that often, I could have a nice sit down bath. But so it has this like ledge here, which I might just remove and have a nice bath put in there. Which would be nice, you know, because sometimes I do like having a bath, especially at the end of the day to relax, all that stuff. So the last thing I haven't mentioned is how I actually found this flat. So unlike the UK or the US, where you can use Zillow or Rightmove or Zoopla to find properties online, here in Colombia, it's a little bit more old school. And so basically I just walked around the area that I knew I wanted to buy. So La Frontera, between El Poblado and Envigado. And I just walked around the streets. I looked up because they have for sale signs of apartments that are on the market. And so I walked up this street, I saw the for sale sign, which has a WhatsApp number. I WhatsApped the agent, I arranged the viewing, and that's how I found the apartment. And before pulling the trigger on buying this apartment, I probably looked at around 15 flats in this area to come to the conclusion that this flat was good for me. Because being completely new to Colombia, I just didn't really know what was a good deal or not. I felt like I needed to see quite a lot of apartments in order to get a good idea of what's a good deal, of what's not a good deal. And honestly, I feel like I got a good deal on this apartment. But if you guys know more about real estate here in Colombia, so you can let me know in the comments whether you think I got a good deal or not. So there we have it, guys. This is the full apartment tour. I'll probably do another tour when it's all renovated to show you guys what the updates are. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.